Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I thought I'd share with you something quite personal, and that is my battle with acne after stopping the pill. So just to give you a bit of background, as a teenager I had perfect skin. I barely ever got a breakout. If I did, it was just the odd hormonal pimple, mainly around the chin area, but apart from that my skin was flawless. I was very lucky. And I decided to go on the pill in my early adulthood. I made that decision because I was in a long-term relationship, and that was about the only reason that I decided to go on the pill. And I thought it was the best thing ever. I was lucky enough that my cycle always fell during the week, so I was never on my period during the weekend. I love the fact that you could take the packets back to back if you didn't want to have a period. And I knew exactly when my cycle was going to be every month. So things were just great. I loved taking the pill. I was very, very hesitant to stop taking it. So I decided to stop taking the pill last October, and I had been on the pill for a very long time. I know people say you should have a break, your body needs a break from the pill, but I was really hesitant. I did not want to give up the pill. And so there were a few little issues, like I was starting to get really big cystic pimples on my cheeks. Just one would pop up every now and then, and it was very unlike me to have pimples given that I've always had great skin. And there were a few other little issues and sort of things that didn't seem to be quite right, and so I made the decision to stop taking the pill. And it got to the point where I had finished my last packet and I needed to go back to the doctor to get another repeat prescription, and I thought, okay, now is the time. I'm gonna take the plunge, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna stop taking the pill. And I kind of went into it with my eyes closed. I didn't do any research before I stopped taking it. I didn't go and see my doctor. I didn't know what to expect. I thought maybe I wouldn't get a period for quite a few months, but that was all I thought. And well, what was about to hit me, I was so unprepared for, and I do wish I had known and done my research beforehand, because I would have been a little bit more prepared. I probably would not have wanted to come off the pill knowing this, but I think to be a bit more prepared would have been more beneficial. So I stopped taking the pill last October, and by Christmas and New Year, so sort of 6 to 8 weeks later, I still hadn't had a period, but that was okay. I expected that. And I was starting to break out just ever so slightly. I'd get like the odd pimple around my sort of lower cheek area. And I thought, that's fine, it's just the hormones. They're going a bit crazy, you know, you've got to expect this. But by January, so around about the 3-month post-pill mark, my skin went crazy and it just broke out all around here on the lower cheeks on both sides, more so this side for some reason, but really big cystic acne breakouts. And not only that, the oil production was out of control. I literally looked like I'd stuck my head in a deep fat fryer every day. My skin was that oily, and I just couldn't control the oil and the acne. It really didn't help that we were in the middle of a really hot summer in Sydney, and the heat making you hot and sweaty did not help the oil production on my face. So yes, by 3 months it was in full swing, and I did not see that coming at all. It kind of continued like that for about between the 3 to 5 month mark. At 5 months I did have my first period, which I say period, but it was pretty much just like red discharge. It was that minimal. And 2 days before I had my first period, my skin went even more crazy. So what I thought was bad acne just went even worse. It was nuts. And the thing is, you just can't control it. As much as you try to do things to help your skin and eat healthy, unfortunately it's the hormones, and they're just all over the place, going crazy, and your skin is just gonna do what the hormones want it to do. And around the time that I had that first period, my skin then changed. So I'd gone from having really oily skin to all of a sudden it kind of went quite dry, but I was still strange. I was got dry skin, but I was still getting some oil. So yes, it's very hard to manage your skin during that time because the hormones are just going up and down, and you really just have to persevere and just fight through it. It's taken quite a while. I'm now up to 10 months and I feel like my skin is really getting to a good point. I found that as each month has gone by, my skin has gotten just that little bit better. The oil production is still there, not as intense as it was at the height of the acne breakouts, much less, but it's still there, and I find that it does build up throughout the day. And I was finding that by the time I was coming to wash my face at the end of the day, I was getting a lot of like little pimples, but definitely improving as each month went on. And the other thing I should mention is my skin is also quite heavily covered in red acne scarring. They call it acne scarring. It's more like hyperpigmentation marks. So they do fade over time. Unfortunately, it just takes a long time for them to fade. Yes, this cheek is pretty much the worst cheek. There's a lot of red marks on this one, a few on this one, but definitely this is the worst cheek for some reason. And because of that, I've now decided that it was time to take a bit more action. So I have had one skin peel to date, and I've noticed that since I've had the first skin peel, my skin has already dramatically improved. So I am doing a course of that. I'm going to be doing one a month. So I will see how that goes, and I will do a follow-up video to this to let you know how I'm finding the peels and how they're helping with the acne and the hyperpigmentation marks. So stay posted for that. But all I can say is just ride it out. It will get better. Yes, it takes a long time, but it will get better. Some women are very lucky that they don't suffer the acne breakouts after they stop the pill. This is just my experience and my battle with the acne. I would be very interested to know if anyone has suffered the same thing and how they coped getting through the acne stage. Please let me know in the comments. I would be very keen to hear your thoughts and anything that could help the situation. And the other thing I should mention is doing your makeup. It will take a long time every day to do your makeup to cover the acne. I was the person that could just put on a bit of tinted moisturizer and bronzer and mascara and boom, I'm done for the day. I can go out. But when it comes to covering up the acne and trying to control the oil, it's a whole other story. I've definitely had to adjust my makeup routine and the time it takes me to do the makeup just to get out the house in the morning. You really do have to allocate a lot more time. If you are like me and you don't really want to show your crazy acne face to the world, yes, you need to allocate a lot more time to doing your makeup just to try and make it look like you have an even skin tone. That's another battle. That is another battle. Anyway, I just thought I'd share with you a few products that I've used over the past 9 months to help me get through my crazy hormonal stage. And yeah, just things that have really helped. Obviously, you can't control the hormones. You do just have to persevere. And what I would say is don't go crazy spending a lot of money on changing all your skincare routine and changing all your makeup, because your hormones are up and down that often. You'll find that one month it's one thing and the next month it's something else. So just try and persevere and don't go spending a lot of money on other things, because your skin will, like I said, change and you'll be spending unnecessary money. So what I'll say is, one thing I did have to change was my cleanser, and I changed it during the 3 to 5 months when my skin was at its worst. The cleanser that I was using just could not cope with the oil production that my skin was making. And I changed from my Kate Somerville Gentle Daily Cleanser, I don't know if you can see that, and I changed that to the Kate Somerville EradiKate Daily Cleanser. So this one really helps with the oil production, and I noticed a change pretty much instantly from like the first wash. It really did help to cut through the oil and keep the oil at bay a little bit during the day. However, I did find that when I had my first period at 5 months and my skin then decided to go dry, I had to stop using this because it was then just stripping my skin, and I had to revert back to the original one. So I'm now back on the gentle daily wash. So that's one thing I will say. When it comes to changing the products, just be careful what you choose to change, because obviously your skin is up and down, and I only really looked at changing a few things to help get through the short periods of time. But cleanser is probably one thing I would recommend changing, obviously, to really help clean your skin at night, especially if you're wearing a lot of makeup. And I was definitely wearing a lot more makeup to help cover up the acne. A good cleanser that's going to remove it and going to help with the oil is something worth investing in for that short period of time. Another thing that I would say has helped is a daily exfoliator. So I use this Dermalogica daily microfoliant, and I found that I started using this probably around the 6 or 7 months mark, when my crazy cystic acne was calming down and I was getting more sort of trapped pores and lots of little breakouts at the end of the day. This definitely helped because I could gently buff away the skin, and it really helped to keep my skin a little bit more unblocked. I love the fact that you can control how harsh or how weak you want the exfoliator by the amount of water you add. And yes, this really did help my skin a little bit later on when the height of the acne had died down a bit. So that's another great product that I found was useful with my skin. Another thing that I would say is obviously a face mask. You definitely want to be using a face mask. I've been using this Origins Clear Improvement face mask. It's a charcoal clay mask, and it really does help it just helps with the oil production and to clean out your pores. Again, all these products are just going to help you get through the time. It is your hormones, and yes, it just really does help. So that's definitely another product that I found was useful. Another thing that I found to be really good for my skin is picking a good moisturizer. So I have been using a moisturizer that is oil-free but has the hyaluronic acid, so you still get the extra moisturization from it. And this is the Dr. Dennis Gross moisturizer. This one has been, actually I should just say it's the Hyaluronic Moisture Cushion, if to be exact. That has been a really good moisturizer on my skin. Definitely helps keep the moisture in my skin without it feeling too greasy. So that has definitely been another great skincare product, because even though you've got a lot of oil, you still want to make sure your skin is hydrated, but you don't want it to be congesting your pores anymore. So that has been a really good moisturizer that I was using to help me get through that time. I'm actually still using it now because I do really love how it feels on my skin, and I've seen good results with it. So that's that. Another thing I should mention is keep your makeup brushes clean. So I clean my makeup brushes every day. If I don't have time to wash them, I will give them a clean with this Mecca Cosmetica brush cleaner. You literally just spray it on and wipe your brushes to help remove the makeup that's on them. Because I was wearing a lot more makeup to cover up the acne, it's really important that I make sure those tools that I'm using are clean every day, because I don't want to be spreading any bacteria around my face and making it worse. So definitely make sure you keep your makeup brushes clean on a daily basis. So when it comes to makeup, there are a few products I've had to change on my skin to make my makeup last a bit longer and get the coverage that I've needed. One thing I will say is do not skip primer, especially when your acne is at its worst and the oil production's at its worst. You really need a primer to stop your makeup sliding off your face. And not a primer that's going to give you a dewy glow, because obviously you've got enough glow from the oil production. You need a primer that's got a waterproof barrier to really help keep your makeup in place for longer. I have used the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer, and that is a really good waterproof primer. I'm currently using the YSL Touche Eclat Blur Primer, and that's pretty similar to the Hourglass one. They're, yeah, both pretty much the same, and either or, whichever is your personal preference, but definitely look for a primer that's going to help make a waterproof base. So that is a key product for starting your makeup. And the next thing I would advise is a good concealer, one that has a high coverage that's going to really help cover up the acne marks. I've been using this one from NARS, which is the Soft Matte Complete Concealer in this little tub. It's quite a new one. What I love about this is that it is a matte concealer, so it really mattes down the acne. You really don't want to be using a radiant concealer and draw more attention to your acne because it's glowing. Keep the highlight to the areas of your face that you want to highlight and draw attention to. Drawing attention to your acne is not what you want to do. So look for a matte concealer that's going to matte it all down. And what I also love about this one is that it is really, really easy to blend. It just blends into the skin really, really well. So this concealer has been a lifesaver. I'm still using it now because I find it's still really good for helping to cover up my red pigmentation marks. And yeah, it's a really good concealer. I can't recommend that enough to help cover up your acne. Another thing I should also mention is, before you put your concealer on, obviously, or your foundation, is a color corrector. Look for a green one, because obviously green is opposite on the color wheel and really helps to neutralize the redness in the acne. I have been using this pencil from Smashbox, which is just the green pencil. And I tend to apply it with a concealer brush as opposed to sticking the pencil in my face. Just obviously I don't want to put more bacteria on here, and I find it blends a lot easier when you put it on with a concealer brush. There are so many options on the market though, if you want to get something that's a bit more creamy or in a pot or in a tube. This is just something that I picked up and I've been quite happy with it. I find it's been quite effective in what I've needed to do. So between that and my concealer, I've been managing okay to cover up my acne. Another thing I should mention is obviously looking for a good foundation. I didn't change the foundation I was using. I do use the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, which I will say it is probably too sheer for covering up acne. And I did consider buying a more of a high coverage foundation, but I just found that there were so many areas of my face, like my forehead and my chin and my nose, pretty much everywhere except my cheeks, were okay. So I tended to just use my Giorgio Armani foundation and then just use obviously the color corrector and the concealer to pack on the coverage where I needed it on my cheeks. And that's how I've gotten through the worst months. So now that obviously the acne has died down a lot, I'm getting enough coverage from the foundation and my concealer and corrector without having to spend money on buying something that's more high coverage. But again, that's personal preference. If that's something you want to look into, getting a more high coverage foundation, that would be something also worth looking into. Otherwise, like I said, just buy a few things that are going to help you get through the worst months. And the other thing that is really going to help your skin is your diet. So really making sure you drink lots of water and keeping to a healthy diet. Try and keep off the refined sugars and the alcohol, because that's just going to aggravate the skin even more. I've also been taking some food supplements. One thing I've started taking the past few months is an evening primrose oil supplement. Evening primrose oil is something that helps to balance hormones. I only started taking it a few months ago, so I'm not really sure. I can't really say if it's had great effect on my skin, but it was just something that I thought was worth taking given the benefits of it. So that's something you could look into. Another thing is zinc. Zinc is good for acne and hormonal acne, so that's another supplement worth looking into. I did read up online that taking zinc is advised a month before you decide to come off the pill. Obviously I didn't do any research, so I missed that information, but it is recommended, so that could be something else that could help you. One thing I have been doing, which I think has been quite beneficial to me, is doing a gut cleanse. So when my skin was at its worst and I was getting a bit stressed and wondering how long this was all going to go on for, and I consulted the good old world of Dr. Google, I found that the pill is actually not as good as I thought it was for the body. It apparently, and don't quote me, but this is what I've researched online, is that the pill is quite toxic to the body and can cause a buildup of bad bacteria in the gut, all of which I had no idea about. And you know, they do say that the gut is the doorway to your health. If your gut is in good health, then your body will be in good health. I thought, well, you know what, I'm going to do a gut cleanse. What have I got to lose? I'm going to give it a go. And so I didn't eliminate any food from my diet. I just maintained a healthy diet, made sure I ate healthily and drank water. But I did find a product that helps to flush out the toxins in your body. So I came across a product in my local health store, and it was recommended to me by the lovely sales assistant that worked there, and it is called Fossil Flower. It comes in a little bag like this, and it's a powder that you mix every day in water, and it helps to remove bacteria, toxins, or maybe parasites from the gut. I was a bit hesitant to take it, given that it removes parasites. I thought, oh, maybe it is a bit strong. But after doing a little bit of research on Dr. Google, I decided I was going to give it a go. And I take it every morning, first thing, before I have anything to eat. I mix 1 tablespoon of the powder in water, and I do recommend building up to that over the course of a week. Maybe start with half a teaspoon and gradually each day increase it, so that by the end of 7 days you are on 1 tablespoon, because it is a little bit foreign to the tummy. A good foreign, but definitely worth increasing to the tablespoon. And I take it now, no problem, and I must admit I do feel a lot better with the powder. I think I've noticed some differences just in even things like my hair and my nails. They're much smoother. My skin definitely started to improve once I started taking the powder. I think you need to take it for a couple of months to clean out the bacteria from your gut. So it's not something you can just take for 1 or 2 weeks. I would take it for a couple of months consistently, but I'm still taking it now, and it's been about 3 months. So that's just personal preference. You can also buy it from somewhere online called Nourish Life, so I will pop the link below to that. But yeah, if you're really serious about improving your health and clearing your skin after the pill, this is something I would definitely look into doing, a gut cleanse. And I think the good thing about doing this gut powder is that it's not like you have to eliminate any food groups. I mean, I just maintained a healthy diet. I drink plenty of water. I try to keep away from refined sugars. I definitely try to limit my alcohol intake. All those things are going to help. But this powder is just like the extra boost. So definitely worth looking into. So that wraps up my video on how I've been coping with acne. I hope you have found this video helpful. If you have any questions on any of the products, I will leave all the links below. But also, if you've had any similar experiences and you've got any words of advice, I would love to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.